billion tons because everybody's using fossil fuel. To stabilize greenhouse gases, you have to not cut back. You have to cut way, way, way back because greenhouse gases are long-lived. The half-life of carbon dioxide is about 105 years in the atmosphere. So the second civilization-challenging ethical issue is what is each nation's fair share of global emissions that in total will achieve some stabilization target. Most principles of distributive justice require the people causing the problem accept most of the responsibility to limit their emissions in regard to other people. This is a problem where the poor people have done virtually nothing to cause the existing problem. And here's a kicker. Most people don't know this about climate change. The international community has agreed that there's an urgency to try to limit warming to 2 degrees centigrade. It was actually agreed to in Copenhagen and Cancun this year. And the reason why 2 degrees centigrade is the science says that you start to have rapid nonlinear responses in a variety of systems. And the propensity of having even more rapid or nonlinear responses depends upon the temperature that you've allowed, which comes from the stabilization level. Well, this shows you the darker the red is, the higher the probability that whether the threats to ecosystems, climate events, large-scale migrations, the science is now saying, and there's actually a consensus among scientists, that the probabilities that you have rapid nonlinear, we don't know where these thresholds are. We don't know where the thresholds are in the ecological system. But what the science is saying that we will have even more rapid climate impacts of various types if you have more than a 2 degrees centigrade. So the entire world agreed. The entire world agreed in Copenhagen and Cancun in December that prudence would have us try to limit the warming to 2 degrees centigrade. Now here's the kicker. There's uncertainty about what level of greenhouse gases what the warming will be. It's called climate sensitivity. The climate sensitivity is viewed to be somewhere between 2 degrees centigrade on the low end and 4.5 degrees centigrade on the high end. Climate sensitivity is the amount of warming you get if the atmospheric concentration rises to 550 parts per million. So climate sensitivity is the amount of warming if you let atmosphere go up to 550 parts per million. Now here's the kicker. We're actually already at about 440 parts per million carbon dioxide equivalent with 392 parts per million of carbon. We've increased 50 parts per million since we started to debate this in the late 1980s because we've done nothing. We're already at 392 parts per million. It seems to be accelerating very slowly. But when you add methane and nitrous oxide, the other greenhouse gases, we're already at 440 parts per million. What this chart shows you, at 550 parts per million, there's a 78 to 99% chance, given the uncertainty in climate sensitivity, that you're going to overshoot the 2 degrees centigrade. Even at 450 parts per million, which we're getting pretty close to, we're already, because of the uncertainty in the climate sensitivity, there's a 45 to 86% chance that you'll overshoot the 2 degrees centigrade. So a story that is not being told. This is the consensus view of where we are in relationship to this problem. The consensus view among the real scientists saying we're running out of time to limit warming to what is reasonable. I wish that that were not true, but that is in fact the case.